Good, beautiful Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Coach Darwin Rivers, and you are watching the HR Cafe, Trabaho, Buhay, Iba Pa. We are at our 108th episode. Today is October 2, and another exciting moment for learning that we will be presenting to you for today. The HR Cafe Trabaho Buhay Iba Pa is an online talk show program that is sponsored by the Philippines HR Group, the largest online community of HR and HR allied professionals in the Philippines with over 280,000 members. Now, again, my name is Coach Darwin Rivers. I'm the founder and president of the Philippines HR Group. I'm a certified life coach, a public speaker, a motivational speaker, and HR consultant. I'm also the vice president for global HR operations of a multinational BPO company. And joining me for today's episode is our mentors, Tina Coang. Mentors Tina Coang is an operations and HR leader with broad local and overseas experience. She's a general manager for a retail company and best known for her online content and blog tinaandmanila.com. Oh, tinaandmanila.com. Yes. And by the way, Mentor Tina is also one of the 100 uh, Filipinos in LinkedIn, awarded as one of the 100 Filipinos in LinkedIn to be followed. Hi, Mentor Tina. Happy Sunday.
Magandang hapon. Happy Sunday to everyone who's watching the HR Cafe. We welcome you. And lalong-lalo na for those na may pangarap na maging business owner or entrepreneur, we actually have somebody who is willing to share her experience with us. Jan
Mhm.
has been very active as well. So I look forward to seeing her talk and seeing what she can share with us later. For those who are watching, please leave your company name, where you are from in the Philippines or overseas, so we can give you a shout out at the show.
Agree. Now, let's start our program. We invite you to join us right now at the HR Cafe. Here in this program, we provide timely news and updates. We impart knowledge and experience that are value adding and beneficial to our audience. Our program is divided into two parts. The first part is we provide you updates with regards to government laws, statutory updates with SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, or any other news that affects HR. And the second part of our program is our free learning program for our HR professionals and people leaders out there, where we answer and provide resolutions through our guest resource. If there are any new technologies, tools, and processes, as well as industry best practice, we talk about it at the second part of our program, and we also discuss it here and we invite people to provide updates on that. If your company has any job openings, we encourage you to post it at the comment section and we'll be happy to announce it because the HR Cafe is also a virtual job board and we'll be happy to announce and connect your jobs to prospective applicants. At the end of the day, we would like to bridge understanding between employers and employees and provide inspiration and motivation to a world class Filipino community. Now, whenever we start our program, we started with the wow quote for the week. And since our topic for today is from HR to becoming a successful business leader, we would like to share this wow quote for the week to you guys coming from Tony Se. According to Tony, chase the vision, not the money. Let me just repeat it. Chase the vision, not the money. Tony is actually one of the co-founders of a tech company called Zappos, and this is one of his guiding principles that made his company very successful. Now, I would just like to ask our audience, how does this particular quote resonates to you? What's your understanding of this quote? And how does this quote can be used in your career or in your life? Please share it to us. Let's start with our mentor, Tina.
Okay. A lot of people have problems. Actually, if you think about it, all of us have immense problems. We have problems with our family life, at work, with our love life, with our friends. We have problems with ourselves, our husbands, our children. And lalong-lalo na uso ngayon, we have a lot of problems with money, especially in light of the facing inflation and the strength of the US dollar. So everyone has problems. And we tend to worry about our current problem. 'Di ba? We always worry, paano tayo magkakasya, mahal ba ako ng asawa ko, loyal ba siya, yung boss ko bibigyan ba ako ng promotion. But all of these worries are current and past issues. I'd like to emphasize that if you want to make the most out of your life, you actually have to chase the vision. And vision is always in the future. So I always tell people, do not make do not worry too much about the past. Try not to worry too much about the present. Instead, worry about what you will do and change today so that your future will change as well. When we worry, talaga, ito nga yung sinasabi ko, Coach Darwin eh. Ang mga taong laging nag-worry about pera, sila yung walang pera. Pero may mga tao, walang pera, pero hindi nila masyadong iniisip ang pera. So when they don't think about money, they do things differently, 'di ba? They don't, for example, pera is sachet. When you worry about money, lalo, the more you chase after money, the more elusive it becomes. Pero the more that you let it go and be less anxious about the funds, the more na may darating at darating sa'yo. 'Di ba? Kaya kasi sinasabi namin kasi we're also in retail and we're in sales. Pag yung tao, lagi sila nag-worry about the quota, lalong walang bumibili. Pero pag medyo chillax na sila, may darating talaga na dire-diretso na lang ang bibili. So for us, chase the vision, not the money. If you concern yourself more about the plans you have today and what you're going to do to improve your future, the money will follow. Don't always think about money. Money should be the last thing you should consider. Kasi the more you worry about the money, the more na hindi aakyat yan. Do other things than worrying about the money and you will see the money will follow. Okay? Coach Darwin, ikaw.
Ako, this particular quotes on top of my mind reminds me of the story of Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey, way back, was a co-anchor of a news TV program in the US. And she was asking her boss, why is it that uh,
Mm.
her pay is just 50% of
Mm.
the salary of her male co-anchor, and
Mm.
the answer of his boss was, do you have family, do you have children, do you have things that you need to spend? And Oprah at that time said no, because she's single. But she felt that there is injustice of having uh,
Mm.
same work with different pays. And her vision really is to um, be a top TV personality. And her vision is also to ensure that women, whatever race or color, would be granted the same pay that that she is entitled to because of giving the same amount of work. So what did Oprah do? She created her own network.
Mm.
She made sure that she strived for that vision, the vision of becoming number one. And when she was number one, and she already has millions of followers and earning millions of millions, she made sure that all of her female staff are being paid the same amount as her male
Mm.
staff. So
Mm.
it's really not the money that brings you to the realization of your dream. It's your vision that brings you to the realization of your dream. And believe me, when you reach your dream, when you reach your vision, money follows.
Mm.
Right?
Mm.
So that's how I see this particular wow quote for the week. How about
We
our audience or our listeners? Do they have any comment about this wow quote for the week?
Yes, Jeffrey Lim says hello. Marian Serrano Villanueva says, focus on your goals and dreams. Money won't matter much since your happiness will come naturally when you reach your goals and dreams. O nga no, di ba? Go, coach.
So, ako, meron pa akong idadagdag, and I hope you won't mind, Tina. There's
Go,
this
go.
particular story in Peru where an American, a businessman, went on a vacation in Peru. And he stayed in a particular town in Peru where it's a small town, but he said that this town is very poor and there are only few people who are uh above the oh, you would say middle class. But one Sunday he noticed that a lot of people were went out and were conversing in the town plaza, and because there's someone who died. And what the American think is that maybe this person is a celebrity. Maybe he's a local celebrity or a top notch politician or a
Mm,
priest or not. So what he did is he followed because there are hundreds of people in the town plaza carrying the coffin going to the
mm,
church. And he was amazed. Sabi niya, bakit ganito? Bakit parang ang dami-dami naman tao? Siguro talagang celebrity itong taong totong namatay. Then he asked one of the locals. Sabi niya, sino yung namatay? Tapos ang sabi ng local, ano po yan, matandang nagtitinda ng newspaper. An old
mm,
man
mm,
who has
mm,
been selling newspaper in their town
mm,
for numbers of years. And then the businessman was amazed and said, how can this businessman, this poor old newspaper vendor was able to elicit hundreds of mourners and during the time of his death kasi talagang the whole town went out to mourn for him. At ang sabi ng local is because this person has been very kind, this person has been very helpful throughout his life. So ako, when I was hearing this particular story, it made me realize that um, each and every one of us has their own definition of success, di ba? Has their
mm,
own
mm,
definition of what is success to us. But I think entirely how we live our life would show
mm.
the visions or the dreams that we have. So again, if you're very passionate about something, do it. And believe me, money will follow. Oh, if not, if money will not follow, believe me, a lot of good things will follow into your life. That's it for
Okay.
me.
We have additional comment from Simon Sven. Sabi niya, dati daw he chases his dreams pero need niya ng money. Kina-sacrifice daw yung dream niya. Tapos ngayon, may money na pero hirap na abutin yung dreams niya ngayon. No? Diba?
Agree, agree. Maraming ganyan, no? Maraming
mm,
ganyan.
mm, mm.
So
Okay.
just follow your
Next.
vision. So one of the HR questions that we have that has been going on for a number of times already is a question about if an employee who went on maternity leave, 'di ba? Kasi ngayon 120 days na Tina, 'di ba, yung maternity benefit.
105.
105 pala, 105.
Ah, ah.
105 yung maternity benefit.
Mm,
Coming from 60 naging 105. Now,
mm,
um uh marami nagtatanong, papaano kasi during the time na naka-maternity benefit sila, ang pera lang daw ng employee is yung nakuha nilang maternity benefit from SSS. Now, feeling ang ano nila is kulang yon, so kailangan nilang magtrabaho kagad. Gusto nilang bumalik kagad sa office. Gusto nila kagad magtrabaho kahit hindi pa tapos yung maternity leave period nila. And two things, si employee gusto niyang bumalik kahit na hindi pa niya nako-complete yung 105 days ng maternity leave period niya dahil for whatever reasons that
mm,
she may feel that she needs to go back to work to finish something or she may need to go back to work to earn more money for her family.
mm,
As an employer naman, si employer is, oh, edi mas mas pabor sa business. Kasi mas pag bumalik ka na maaga, the manpower that was lost during the time of your ML, mababalik ka agad ng mas maaga. So what's your take on this? Is it allowable to actually to have employees on ML shorten their ML period and have them go back to work?
Hmm. Okay.
What's your take on this, Martina?
That this is a very prime example that good plans don't always turn out the way that you expect them to be. Dati po kasi ang maternity benefit ng employed people in a private sector is only 60 days pag natural and 75 days pag cesarean. Lawmakers had made it to 105 days because they wish that mothers, Filipino mothers, can spend at least 3.5 months fully paid and enjoy that parang bonding time with your newborn. In
Correct.
fact, the Philippines is one of, parang in terms of maternity benefit, okay na actually ang Philippines compared to many other countries kasi I think in the US parang less pa yata eh. So, parang ang maganda dapat is, that's the ideal. That when your baby comes out, you really spend time breastfeeding your child, giving it enough nutrients, taking care and bonding with the child. And then somebody else will relieve you at work. And the company has to pay you full pay. Kung magkano yung sahod mo ngayon, yun dapat yung babayaran nila sa'yo kahit na ikaw ay naka-maternity leave. Now, a lot of Filipinos naman medyo gusto nilang dagdag because nakuha na nila yung pera from SSS and from the salary differential from the company, they want to enjoy the double compensation. So for example, ang sahod mo is 50,000, which you've already gotten in advance before you gave birth. If you return back earlier and shorten your maternity leave, you will get an additional amount of 50,000 of pay on top of what you already got before. So it is a very prime parang opportunity wherein you get double pay. Legally, SSS does not allow double compensation, which is why pag meron pa po kayong company leaves, hindi po kayo pwedeng mag-apply ng SSS sickness benefit. Pag
Correct.
kunyari, binabayaran kayo ng company ng full pay, regalo sa'yo, dapat yung hindi na kayo magpapa-reimburse from SSS kasi meron ka nang nakukuhang benefit from the company. SSS only comes in when ubos na yung leaves mo. Okay? Pero ang is it illegal? Well, pag ikaw hindi nag-report, company does not report, nobody gets in trouble, right? So, a lot of, is it prohibited? SSS prohibits, but the execution is mas mahina. Nagkakaproblema lang talaga pag yung tao ay pumasok within the maternity leave period, tapos na disgrasya. Then it becomes a problem because it's not you, hindi ka na nag-follow ng rules ng SSS, and yet kasi gusto mo makiisa, pero in the end talo ka. So to answer, can an employee who just gave birth be back to work and shorten her maternity leave period? All I can say is SSS prohibits double compensation, but so many Filipinos are doing this, returning back to work before the 105 days para to earn double compensation. But as a woman and as a mother, please, please stay home with your newborn and bond with your child. Breastfeed if you want, parang enjoy the full benefits of this. Kasi for me, work is forever. From the time you're 21 or 16 years old up until the time maybe you're 60 to 65, you'll be working nonstop if you let it. But your child is a newborn
Correct.
once in their life. And you're gonna miss that for money. 'Di ba? So, no amount of compensation will ever compensate you from spending the first precious time of the birth of your child. This is the only time they will listen to you, they will seek for you and cry for you. And when they get to 18 years old and matanda na sila, they will never want to find you. 'Di ba? So there is a time for everything. There's a time to give to there's a time for work, there's a time for play, and there's a time for family. So if given the choice for that type of money, babalikan mo ba? Kasi kailangan ng company mo. Companies are not forever. But your children are in a way. And for me, prioritize the first few weeks, few days of your child's life because you will never get it back again.
Agree.
Okay, Coach Darwin?
Ako ano, I have a very uh definite
Poignant.
answer on this. I would
Mm,
say no. For mothers who have undergone ML, you cannot
mm,
go back to work prior completing your ML period. Why? Because for me, you've already been compensated. Sabi nga ni Mentor
mm,
Tina, we do not allow double compensation. Yung time na nawala ka sa office, it's already been given to you through your SSS benefit and your the tawag dito, the part of the company that also yung differential na binigay ng
mm,
company part
mm,
of your
mm.
SSS benefit. Second is that the reason why they've changed the law is they realize nga na mothers should be given
Kulang.
enough time
Mm,
to take care of their kids.
mm,
'Diba? So why are you saying that you need to go back to work? Sabi nga ni Mentor Tina, ang work nandyan lang yan. Ang work hindi yan aalis. Ang company mo magsasara, magbubukas, nandyan lang din yan. Pero
mm,
yung family mo should be your number one priority. Make sure that as an HR head of several organizations, I've been I've received a lot of letters coming from my employees na nagbibigay pa sila ng waiver na wini-waive nila yung right nila na na if ever na may mangyari sa kanila, pagbalik nila wini-waive nila yung responsibility ng company. Pero you know what? Legally kahit mag-sign ka ng waiver at
mm,
nagkaroon talaga ng disgrasya or you've had complications
mm,
during the time that you're on ML and you're working, the company is legally liable even though you
mm.
have a waiver. So for companies, do never allow people to go back uh, to work if they're still on ML. Okay? So that's it
Meron
from my
isang
end.
tanong, sabi na
Mm,
is, sabi ni Mary Jane Rete, kailan po ba nagsisimula ang 105 days, the date of giving birth or from the time na nag-leave ka po bago ka manganak? It's the time na nag-leave ka
leave ka.
po bago ka nanganak that you agree that this is the start of your ML.
Oo,
Yon.
kasi 'di ba minsan naman nagli-leave tayo ahead of time bago
Yes,
yung
yes,
actual birth.
yes. Oo,
Oo.
oo. So that's the starting count is when they don't come to work
To
anymore
work
and you
anymore.
pay them. Kasi a lot of people, lalo na nung COVID, yung 3 months, 4 months, 5 months pa lang sila, nag-leave na sila. But that's
Mm.
not with pay. Pero
Oo,
ang
yes.
ML, that's when the company starts paying while you are on
Agree.
leave. O, diba? And then, Marian was also saying, agree, Miss Tina, that's where the bonding and loving connection start. Just stay home and enjoy being a mother first.
Correct.
Next.
Now, for updates in the Philippine social security system, this is great news for people who've had existing loans o yung mga taong hindi nakapagbayad during the time na nagkaroon ng SSS condonation program last year. So SSS is giving you another chance to settle all your loans and have your penalties condoned. So just apply for the SSS consolidation loan starting October 4. So October 4 na po ang start. October 4, 2022 through your MySSS account. You can register and log in to your MySSS account at members.sss.gov.ph. You can check the SSS official website and the official social media accounts. So basically, kung meron pa po kayong existing loans na hindi pa po nababayaran or fully paid, ito na po yung pagkakataon nyo kasi sabi nga, sinasabi nga namin, this is the first time na alam namin na magkasunod na taon, actually, magkasunod na condonation program sa isang taon ang binigay ni SSS. Kasi if you would remember, early this part of the year, nagkaroon na ng condonation program. Tapos ngayon, magkakaroon uli. That never happened even way back. So if you have existing loans and you need to make sure you pay it, please apply for the SSS consolidation loan starting October 4. Next would be because a lot of people are asking for it, the deadline for the annual confirmation of pensioners or the ACOP program will be extended because basically when they've had an advisory, it's only up to July 30th, 2022. Now, sinasabi ng SSS na willing po sila at handa po silang i-extend ito hanggang October 31st, 2022. So, alin po ba yung mga ah, pensioners na kailangan mag-renew ng ACOP? Ito po yung mga retirement pensioners na nakatira sa ibang bansa. Ito po yung may total disability pensioners. Ito po yung mga survivor pensioners, pati na ang mga dependent children, minor or incapacitated at kasama ng guardians. Now, kailangan nyo lang po na mag-sign up dun sa ACO Pensioner Supply Form na maaaring i-download mula sa SSS website at ang mga pensionadong nakapag-comply na para sa taong 2021 ay hindi na po kailangan na magsumite muli ng kanilang application. So ito lang po yung mga hindi nakapag-comply uh, nung 2021 saka 2022. So simula January 1, 2023, isususpindi po lahat ng pensyon ng mga pensionado na hindi makakatugon po sa ACOP program. So, kung kayo po ay tumatanggap ng pensyon sa SSS, isang paalala lang po, kung kayo po ay napapaloob doon sa mga kailangan tumugon sa pag-renew ng inyong ACOP application, hanggang October 31st lang po ito. Kasi kung hindi nyo po ito magagawa, mahihinto po ang inyong benepisyo come January 1 of next year. Okay? Now, for pag-ibig, Mentor Tina, ano bang bago sa pag-ibig?
Pag-ibig is once again reminding everyone that they already have a virtual Pag-ibig mobile app where you can view your Pag-ibig savings and annual dividends, confirm if your contributions and savings have been remitted, your loan payments made through channels, and monitor your loan balances and due dates. 1% po ang penalty ng Pag-ibig pag hindi po kayo nagbayad pag late yung loan payments niyo. So please download the virtual Pag-ibig app for free using Google Play. Next. And then, meron tayong Pag-ibig is also encouraging everyone to apply for the Pag-ibig Loyalty Card or the Pag-ibig Loyalty Card Plus, which is cheaply available in their branch. If you have that card, you will enjoy a 5% discount on food orders in Hapchan and a free regular thin crust pizza classic flavor in Shakey's, not including pa 5% discounts from Home Depot and around 5% discount for all purchases in McDonald's. Next. September 2022 is World Leukemia Awareness Month. So people na 70 hanggang 80 na bata ang naitatalang may acute lymphoblastic leukemia kada taon. We'd like to remind everyone that leukemia is among the top 5 killer cancers in the Philippines. So it is our silent killer and it is not how do you say it? Parang tinatanong ng tao, paano ka magkaroon ng leukemia? Ang sagot, leukemia occurs when some blood cells acquire changes or mutations in their genetic materials or your DNA. In short, minsan swerte-swerte lang talaga siya. The good news is that PhilHealth covers 500,000 for acute lymphocytic or lymphoblastic leukemia. So if you have leukemia, may coverage pa rin yan kahit papaano. Para gumamit ng benepisyo, kailangan ay you submit and you complete your member empowerment form and then that your age is 1 to 10 years old, and at 36 na araw, white blood cells count is less than 50,000 QL, walang CNS leukemia nung may na-diagnose, walang testicular involvement sa mga lalaking pasyente nung may diagnose, or B or T, lymphoblastic leukemia, immuno immunophenotype ayon
Right.
sa classification ng World Health Organization. Sa akin, basta may sakit kayo at na-hospitalize kayo, please prepare na for your PhilHealth kasi chances are your disease is covered by PhilHealth. At kahit
Correct.
na 5,000 or 500,000 ang coverage mo, bawas pa rin yan sa hospital bill mo. And it's one of the benefits of being a PhilHealth member. So pag kayo'y magkasakit, please make sure na meron kayong 9 out of 12 contribution of the year within na bago ka magkasakit para kahit na papaano, mas malaki talaga ang mababawas sa'yo kaysa sa binabayad mo sa PhilHealth, which is only around 2% for employees and 2% for employers. Okay? Worth it pa rin kahit papaano. Next.
Agree, agree. Now, some words from our sponsors. If your company, your family, or your team members or your barkada is looking for a place to stay and relax or do team building activities or staycations, El Puerto Marina Beach Resort and Vacation Club is a partner of the HR Cafe in the Philippines HR Group. They have resorts and vacation hotels, beachfront hotels at Palawan, also in Boracay, and also in Pangasinan. Just reach out to the Facebook page of El Puerto Marina Beach Resort and Vacation Club. Inform them that you're a member of the Philippines HR Group and you are entitled to exclusive discounts and privileges. Now, another thing is eShield is an exclusive offers exclusive discount for the Philippines HR Group and HR Cafe listeners. So if your company is looking into wellness and providing wellness app or wellness gadgets to your employees that monitors their overall health, eShield provides 15% discount to all our members. So just register at the Shield's website, www.shield.me/ph-hr. eShield is a partner of the Philippines HR Group and HR Cafe to promote a healthy lifestyle to your company's employees. And if you have any questions, we would like to invite you to please post it at the main page of the Philippines HR Group Facebook page. Or if you're also active in LinkedIn, we have a growing community in LinkedIn. Just go to groups and search for Philippines HR Group, and you can also join and post your questions there. And we encourage you to also like the FB page of the HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay, Iba Pa, and you will have access to more than 108 previous episodes, valuable learning episodes of the HR Cafe program, free for you to review. And if your company would like to be a sponsor and a partner of the Philippines HR Group or the HR Cafe, please reach out to any of our mentors, Mentors Tina, Mentors Rona, yours truly, or Mentor Birds. Okay? Now, as promised, the second part of our program, we have a HR professional who have transitioned from being an HR professional to a successful business owner and entrepreneur. Two things that we need to remember. Ever since, we've always been fighting for a place in the table. 'Di ba? A place in the table of management. And a lot of HR leaders have done that already. And there's a lot of HR leaders also who transition from being a VP or a CHRO to a CEO or president of those companies, di ba? So, napatunayan na ng HR ay talagang po pwedeng mag-manage at ng isang kumpanya at hindi lang a particular department. Second thing is that a lot of our HR professionals nag-iisip, after being HR professional, ano pa ba yung pwede kong gawin na pwede kong gamitin yung skills and knowledge ko na natutunan ko for being HR professionals para maging successful, maybe if you're already looking into retirement or if you're looking into shifting into having your own business. And we will know more about it on how she has done that. We have Miss Jan Abdelghany, who will be discussing to you about the topic from HR to successful business owner and entrepreneur. And we have Mentor Stina to properly introduce our guest for today.
It is my greatest pleasure to introduce Miss Jan Abdelghany, who is the founder of Algorithm Call Center. She is a top 100 Filipino to follow on LinkedIn, branch owner of IVC Laguna, Pampanga, and Davao, and one of the 100 most influential Filipino women on LinkedIn. She founded Algorithm with just 5 seats in February 2019. Note photo 1 year before the pandemic. The business has grown to over 100 plus seats up to date. Her vision for Algorithm is to bring jobs closer to the people. She's one of the rising stars for LinkedIn, and she's talaga for me ha. Pwede siyang mag-Miss Universe. So let me introduce Miss Jan Abdelghani, who is our expert at the show. Miss Jan,
Go
thank you
to
so
Spanish,
much for...
nahiya ako. Nahiya
Kaya
ako.
nga ibang klase. Sobrang
Okay.
galing talaga na I've been monitoring the growth of algorithm throughout the years and
Thank
noted
you.
talaga that your business has grown at the midst of the pandemic. So many people have
Here.
been cutting jobs and yet you have increased jobs. And in the
Yeah.
light of hyperinflation and rising cost of labor and benefits
Mhm.
and PhilHealth,
Oo.
sobrang ang lahat ay ibang tao nagre-retrench, eh, ikaw nagdadagdag. Ma'am
Praise
Jan,
God. Praise God talaga.
kaya it's not praise God lang. Yes, praise God, but 'di ba ibang klase talaga. So I
Mm-mm.
won't talk now. I'm just gonna be in the background and give you the floor.
Yeah,
Okay.
John
Hi,
will give you the
everyone.
floor.
Okay.
Siguro let's start, John, by by you sharing your whole story
All
before
right.
you from HR to becoming an entrepreneur, and then you can start your presentation slides. You'll be at the
Okay.
background, John. Bye.
Alright, hi! My name is Jan Abdelghany. I am the founder and CEO of Ideal Visa Pampanga, Laguna, and Davao branch. And we founded also Algorithm, which is a call center based in Los Baños, Laguna. And we currently have hundreds and seats po talaga right now. And my story is a bit different from a lot of people kasi I've learned to be an HR during my entrepreneur days. So because we have business na I wanted to open, I started to learn more about HR because handling people takes a lot of responsibility. So my entrepreneur journey starts on 2019 and hindi po siya naging madali for us for the reasons that when we started, we had on and off clients and when we're supposed to onboard one of the biggest clients that we have, which is Disney, that time, biglang nagka-pandemic. So, tinamaan kami ng pandemic during the time that we're supposed to ano eh, parang expand, bigger expansion for our call center. And right after that, so medyo nagkakaproblema na rin kami like everyone else during the pandemic. And when the preparation is there, when you equip yourself with the right knowledge, with the right people, with the right hiring, with the right background, it become easier for us to look for other clients even during the pandemic. Luckily, Lazada and Shopee has become our partner during that time and has helped us itawid talaga ang aming call center during the time na halos wala ng trabaho sa Los Baños. Especially yung mga estudyante na na-stuck during pandemic, it was really tough for them kasi they weren't be able to go back sa mga probinsya nila and they still have to feed themselves nung time na yon. And we're very, very grateful that algorithm has provided them job during that time. So, ang entrepreneur journey ko po ay is really different, but we praise God for this because number one, it has brought food for the tables ng maaming mga staff. And one thing po talaga is that ang goal namin is to provide jobs sa mga probinsya. Hopefully, hindi lang Los Baños, kundi other provinces para hindi na mag-travel ng alas 5 ng umaga ang mga tao at makauwi ng 9 p.m. sa kanilang mga tahanan at wala ng oras para sa kanilang pamilya. So, right now, we will be discussing Entrepreneur One-on-One, everything that you need to know bago ka mag-open ng sarili mong negosyo. At magastos ba talaga? Ano bang kailangan ko? Kailangan ko ba ng 1 million para makapag-open ako ng negosyo? Which is hindi po totoo. Although you really need capital, but kayang-kaya po natin itong lahat. Alright? So, next slide po. Yeah. So, pre-opening a business, bago po tayo mag-open ng negosyo na gusto natin, we really need to identify kung ano yung passion nyo. Katulad na napag-usapan ni Coach Darwin at Coach Tina today, you really have to identify yung passion nyo muna. What is that value that you wanted to add on the table? Ano ba tong ikaw sa sarili mo, when all the motivations are done, you will still be ignited by your purpose. Alright? And there are different type of businesses din talaga, and you have to know kung ano ang business na pasok sa passion mo that could also generate profit at secondary lang kasi you really have to think firstly kung ano ang value na madalagay mo sa lamesa. Alright? And ano ba ang mga businesses na po pwede nating i-open? It could be services, it could be product, it could be digital, e-books and skills katulad nating mga HR or mga professionals. We don't have to even open an office. Skills lang natin is another form of business. And physical po, this could be the shops that you're going right now sa mga mall and such. So, remember po, ang pagbubukas po ng negosyo ay pagpahanap um, ng problema na kailangan ng solusyon. Ito po ang pinakamalaking portion ng reasons kung bakit tayo dapat mag-open ng negosyo. When you find the right passion, purpose, values, you will be able to find that right problem for you and solve that problem. Alright? So, business development is the second step natin. When you already know, okay, alam ko na kung anong negosyong i-open ko. Alam ko na kung anong klaseng niche ang meron ako. Then you need to understand that you have a specific target market. Kailangan mong isipin kung ang target market ko ba ay mga negosyo din or ang target market ko ba ay mga customer din, mga user din. Once you identify the problem, then you have to create a business plan revolving those target market. Alright? Research is very important on this para ma-establish mo siya, and in the end of the day, you can focus only on that specific target market. Okay? How will you position your product or services? Napaka-importante po nito dahil you have to be the biggest salesperson ng negosyo mo. Okay? Hindi lang tayo basta-basta mauupo at panunuorin natin yung mga staff natin magtrabaho kung hindi ikaw mismo. Pagpunta mo ng mall, you give your calling card. Pagpunta mo, nakausap mo si ganyan, you talk to people, everything. You are your biggest endorser. So, how you position your business is really important. Marketing is everything. If your business is not online at this point, mahihirapan po tayong mag-survive. So, everything revolves ngayon sa internet, and I suggest that we always have to make sure na kahit ang negosyo natin ay may physical store or such, you have to invest sa inyong social media presence. Okay? And what makes your products or service different from others? Bakit ba si Coke, lagi natin naiisip pag nag-iisip tayo ng iinumin nating soda? It's all about the branding. It is really important uh, na meron tayong maayos at plano when it comes to branding. It what makes you different. It what makes you stand out. So, may 10 or 100 sodas product right there. What makes you different? Okay, so business development involves a huge part on our marketing, on how you promote or how you position your product or service talaga. Okay? Okay. Let's talk about finance. Napakalaking portion ng ating pagnenegosyo ang kapital. So, kung ikaw ay isang digital or HR agency owner online, kung ang nagastusan mo ay mga computers na ginamit nyo para sa inyong mga staff, you have to make sure that hindi mo ipa-prioritize agad na bumalik yung ROI mo in the next 6 to 1 year. The most important thing here is reinvesting. You have to reinvest after you pay yourself. Take note, after you pay yourself, because you have to prioritize paying yourself every month, enable for you to survive, enable for you not to touch the money of your business. Okay? Have an emergency fund. Napaka-importante po nito for the reasons that everything revolve po talaga right now sa ating pagnenegosyo. And pag wala kang emergency fund and something happen, magkakaroon ng problema ang negosyo mo. So, napaka-importante. Number one, wag po tayong kukuha agad ng kapital sa negosyo natin. Bayaran natin ang sarili natin at magkaroon tayo ng emergency fund para at least safe ang business natin. Nakita naman po natin na during pandemic, napakaraming negosyo ang nagsarado, napakaraming businesses ang hindi nag-survive. This is because you really have to have that enough emergency fund and able to sustain yourself during the such hard months. Okay? So, one thing po na kailangan natin tandaan, ang pagnenegosyo po talaga ay walang overnight success. Even those overnight success company na nakita natin, it took them 5 years of preparation to get there. So, hard work is really everything para sa ating mga negosyante. Okay? Yan. Ito na. So we know what type of business to open, what is the business development that we should do, and branding. We talk about branding and selling. Let us talk about now the things that you have to consider during your operation na. This is, mag-open ka na ng negosyo. What are the things that you have to consider? And that's number one, ownership structure. Are you okay to have a sole proprietor na ikaw lang mag-isa ang maghahawak ng negosyo mo, that you will have all the liability of the business? Or meron kang kapartner para sa negosyo mo, or meron kayong corporation para mas protektado ang negosyo mo. You have to decide this before you jump into the boat. Okay, this is gonna cost you time, effort, etc. So you have to think, kakailanganin ko ba ng partner para sa negosyo na ito? Kaya ko ba itong i-full time? So kailangan po natin siyang pag-isipan mabuti. Okay. Number two, this is when our HR expertise comes in. hiring takes a lot po talaga of effort, a lot of trial and error. And if you have that specific background on HR, then you will not have a problem on hiring. Kasi you will know who to hire, especially for us. Napakahirap pong mag-hire sa isang call center. Especially ang lalaki ng mga competition namin in Manila and other places. But what makes us different, as again po, like tayo sa branding, is that we cater clients who are already in business, who needs to have our business together with their business. So, ayun po, when it comes to hiring, napaka-importante nito sa atin. It will make or break your business, especially when you have to have really manpower to run the operations. Okay. Number three, keep an eye on your cash flow. Aside sa pinag-usapan nating finance today, cash flow po ay napaka-importante. You have to see kung saan napupunta majority of your expenses, especially when you're just starting your business. You don't have to make your office look so fancy. You don't have to make it look so parang ginastusan mo na for the unnecessary equipment just to make it look good. You really have to squeeze as much as a cash flow that you have, especially kung nag-start ka pa lang magnegosyo. Dahil hindi natin kailangan gastusan masyado ang ibang bagay. Kung hindi, we have to prepare ourselves that in the next 6 months ba or 1 year, I will have enough cash flow to sustain the business. Okay? Number four, yung location ba natin, depende po ito kung anong negosyo meron tayo. O pwede naman, kung ikaw ay digital agency, you can put this on your house address, yung business address mo, etc. So location is very important with the kind of business you're opening. So kung ikaw ay printing shop at photocopy store, mas magandang i-open mo siya sa isang tabi ng eskwelahan. Or kung ikaw ba ay isang call center katulad namin, you have to find the right location that has enough manpower to sustain your business. Okay po? So there's a lot of factors when it comes to location, and it's really important na we find the right location for us. Okay, finding the right mentor. Based on my experience, it was really tough for me at first kasi I don't have a mentor eh. But during the course of time that the business is expanding, I am so grateful that we have the right people to mentor us, especially on how to handle expansion, on what to consider when getting your expansion budget, capital, etc. You really have to have that right mentor to find, to check if you are so idealistic na ba or realistic pa din sa negosyo mo, or tama ba itong mga ginagawa mo. You really have to find the right mentor. Okay? So it's really a blessing if kung meron po tayong mga kaibigan or kamag-anak na negosyante that we could ask around. Okay? Business plans and emergency plans are very important. During the time that we had algorithm, one of the hardest things that we have to face is the ongoing pandemic. Some of our employees are having COVID. So, ano yung contingency plan mo? What is your contingency plan kung si employee A hindi siya makakapasok dahil may sakit siya? So, emergency plans, business plan, and paying your employees right is really important and able for you to start a business. Okay? So, when is this best time to start being an entrepreneur? It is right now. Ngayon na. You should not wait for the perfect moment in able for you to be an entrepreneur. Hindi po ito kinakailangan na perfect po tayo. You just have to start. And while you're starting, you have to grow and grow and grow. So, you have to remember yung purpose mo while you're growing. You have to always check on yourself if this is the right business for you, if this is the right way pa rin and path for you. So yun, we all can start early po talaga when it comes to entrepreneurship. You just really have to prepare your heart kasi hindi madali ang pagiging entrepreneur, but this is truly doable. Okay? So, I would like to share po ang aming progress in algorithm. So, back in 2019, ito po ang opisina namin. We only have 5 to 10 seats po talaga. But after few years, actually after a year lang or so, we grew over 100 seats. It's because of really hard work. Wala po talaga tayong shortcut doon. And when you're handling people, you really have to be there 100 uh, all the time. You have to be there on your business. You have to see it grow. It's not gonna be easy, but it is really doable. So if you're interested para mag-open po ng sarili niyong call center or such, we are I do mentorship po pa as much as I can if I am free. And yeah, ito po ang algorithm. Our clientele consists of Fortune 500 companies and Southeast Asia's biggest e-commerce platforms. We're located in Laguna, and our agents are primarily graduates of University of the Philippines, Los Baños. I'm very proud to say that we all hire po talaga working students. And I've seen it so many times na ilang estudyante ng UP ang graduate sa tulong ng algorithm, and tinutulungan talaga namin sila on how we can match yung needs nila to finish their college and also serve the company. And I think that's our strength as well kasi we know the University of the Philippines is one of the biggest university and best students right there in the market. So um, this is the reason of our success. It's really the people po. So hiring is really important, and the skills that you learn as an HR will really help you sa ganitong paraan at sa ganitong mga business if ever gusto nyo rin pasukin ang pagkakaroon ng sarili nyong call center. So, yun po ang journey ng algorithm at ang journey namin. It wasn't very, very easy, pero we are so grateful for kung anong meron kami ngayon. And thank you so much po sa inyong lahat.
We can leave that slide there so people can see your company kaya.
Yeah. I'm
Ah,
sorry. Okay.
ne, we'll leave the last slide na lang
Yeah.
para people can see. Jan, question kasi 'di ba? It Let's start with the obvious.
Okay.
How do you even get clients? Kasi that's the hardest thing. Setting up is one thing. But
Yes.
many people are afraid of getting clients. Yung
Mm-mm.
people who will actually pay you for your
Mm-mm.
services. How did you actually start with your company? Kasi that's the hardest thing, eh, 'di ba? It's easy to rent a place,
Exactly.
uh renovate it, even
Mm-mm.
hiring people, you make mistakes, pero at least you can correct that. Pero yung
Mhm.
clients talaga, good clients who will pay you and will be there for you, how did you do that?
All right, so that's a very good question. So I almost forgot how we did this. So I was a freelancer before. So that's my background. I
Mm,
also, as a mother, when we talk about
mm,
the maternity leave today, I am
mm,
so
mm,
grateful talaga. As a mother, when you're at home watching your kid, you also think about a lot of things. Eh. So on my break time, I try to find a job online that I can do, and I see that this is very sustainable. When I saw that it's really sustainable and I know that it can grow pa, that's when I know, okay, I need to open a call center. So when I have the urge now to open a call center, LinkedIn is gonna be your friend. You have to create a profile wherein they will see at least why should we hire you. And on our strength kasi, people
mm,
like that we are hiring working students and students from University of the Philippines. So when the client find out, okay, So their agent was really good kasi galing sila ng UP. We built this credibility. So the niche just not it's not just about the customer service, but it's on the people itself. We're selling the people of UP. That's the
Mm-hmm.
brand itself. So when people find out na, okay, galing sila ng UP, etc., it become easier for us to find clients. Especially Lazada and Shopee. I'm so grateful for those two platforms kasi ang dami naming na-hire during pandemic because of them, the needs of customer support, etc. They needed that and we provided that. So, yun, you have to tap talaga the biggest people in LinkedIn. Do not be afraid to network. You are the biggest salesperson. People are gonna talk to you, not to the BDM or the HR or other people, but you. You have to do it on your own. And if you have a background in HR, that's good kasi you know how to speak with people na. So, ganun po siya. We started on LinkedIn.
Mm. And how, 'di ba, like for example, one of the hardest things to do when starting a business is finding the right partners for you.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, there's a lot of people who will express interest in partnering with you in the business.
Oh,
So
yeah.
excited ka kasi friend mo siya or family
Mhm.
member mo siya.
Yes.
Tapos nung nagsa-start na kayo, 'di ba? Like any other work, mapapansin mo na ikaw lang pala yung nagtatrabaho, ikaw lang yung naglalabas ng pera, tapos 'pag may problema, ikaw din yung nagsosolusyon. Could you
Exactly.
give us some tips on how to find the right partner? Kasi even in love and at work, napakahirap talaga ng partner who will work as hard as you.
Exactly. Sorry about the noise.
No
So,
problem.
for us kasi, I had experienced that. I had a wrong partner on my business at starting up because I didn't know what I needed that time. What you
Mm,
needed to consider is that what will the partner contribute for you? If it's just
correct.
money, banks can provide you money. Lending companies can provide you money. Your friends and family can provide you money. But finding the right partner to really see the visions that you wanted to happen is another thing. If you do not have the right core value, katulad ng meron ka and yung partner na gusto mo, then you don't have to get a partner. Okay? It's not an option to get a partner all the time. You have to understand that.
Mm. Lesson learned yan sa mga kababayan. Pag maghanap kayo ng partner, you have to make sure it's an equal partnership. Kasi maraming mangbobola sa Pilipinas.
Yeah.
Okay sila mag-partner pag profit. Okay sila
Mm-mm.
mag-partner pag good time, pag gastos. Hindi sila okay mag-partner pag wala na kayong pera or may problema na kayo. So,
Exactly.
well,
It's hard.
lesson learned. Everybody will learn nga not to trust. You have to, it's really hard because lalo-lalo na maraming gusto mag-partner sa'yo na high school friend mo,
Exactly.
asawa mo,
Mm-mm.
kapatid mo, auntie mo, but not necessarily they are the right partners for you and your business. Baka ikaw
Exactly.
pa yung magbubuhat para sa kanila. Darwin?
Mm-mm.
John, now that you are the leader of your own business, the leader of your own company, what do you think are the HR traits or HR values or skills and knowledge that you're able to make use in your
Mhm.
business to ensure that it's successful and it's meeting its vision of growth?
Okay. So for us kasi po, our core value talaga revolves on accountability. And for my HR, especially for a business such as that revolves on providing manpower to our clients, I need to make sure that my HR skills as well revolves on being accountable. That I mean well, this is what we do. I do
Mm,
it. I do it with you or together we will be doing this, etc. So being accountable po is really something that you have to find on your HR or having an HR skill. If you're looking for an HR, that's something that you really have to have. Being accountable nowadays is really hard to find sa ating HR. So one of the core value that really emphasizes not only excellence, not only we do things perfectly, is we are accountable. So napaka-importante po talaga sa amin ng pagiging accountable.
Mm.
Okay. And then now that you are expanding your business, kasi 'di ba, you've said that primarily your business supports students or graduates of UP Los Baños. How will you scale up your business in terms of scaling it outside Los Baños, outside Laguna, and making sure to provide more jobs to other Filipinos?
Okay. So thank you for asking that. So actually, algorithm also support our business, other businesses, ventures from Davao, Pampanga, and Laguna. So they're providing the manpower, kaya lang nasa Los Baños sila. But what we're thinking right now is to also check on schools around Pampanga, where we're already in, around Davao, because we saw the big skills of people right there, and to see if the market fits on what we need. Dahil kailangan din po talaga ng ating mga e-commerce platform ng people na nagsasalita ng Bisaya. Napaka-importante niyan. Sasalita ng hindi lang English ang kailangan ngayon. This is the misconception about call center. No, we have other dialects, and clients actually wanted this our they wanted them to speak that other dialect. So we're checking our options in Mindanao right now and able to open a small one beside our existing business in Davao para to see if it's gonna be feasible to actually have not bilingual but people who speak dialects na din and add it to their platform. So
How
yes.
How do you do that, Jan? Kasi, for example, diba, like when you expand to Pampanga, Davao, or Visayas, you need to copy and paste your successful formula in Metro Manila. The issue is, how do you find the right people to assign to assign the branch to? Kasi there's a
Okay.
possibility na given that it's an airline right away, as HR naman, alam naman natin, di ba? Minsan yung Davao head pa yung nagnanakaw sa company. Di ba?
Yes.
Yung may ganong mga pege, right?
Yes.
How will you safeguard the interest of the company if your locations are far away from each other?
You know what? We've been doing this for almost 8 months already that we have
Mm.
our existing branch in Pampanga. One of the important thing kasi on our business is that we don't accept cash. So when there's no cash
Mm.
involved, you cannot do something wrong. Eh. So when there's no
Oo,
cash,
oo.
it's not applicable for other businesses, which I understand. So
Mm.
this matter talaga that you have all your CCTVs, all the
Correct.
record, EOD reportings, every day you have to read it, and learning and development have to come visit for quality checking of the branches. So most this is gonna be under HR again, that they have to deploy our learning and development manager on different branches to see if they are complying with the standard and quality, are the attendance adherence okay, and such. So for us, it's been working for the past few months na, and hopefully, with the trial that we're trying to do in Davao right now, we could also open a branch for Alga right there.
Okay. I'd like to reiterate what Jan has shared generously to us. A lot of people think that making a business is setting up a company in a location. Gagandahan
Mm-mm.
nila yung office para impressive. After
Mm-mm.
that, you hire people, you give them instruction, and then you expect that they will work for you na and make you money. This is probably one of the biggest lies in entrepreneurship. If
Yes.
you've noticed yung kwento ni Jan, Jan is very hands-on. Okay. So
Mm-mm.
even it's not just about setting up different branches, it's also monitoring and making sure all the branches work. Kasi if hindi ka na tumitingin sa operations mo, 1,000% may magloloko sa'yo. So no
Exactly.
matter how many controls you have, if you leave it to your people to manage your business and you don't watch it anymore, tapos magkukrus ka na, pupunta na ka sa mag-abroad, manonood ng racing, then it
Mm-mm.
will be a problem talaga later on for you. Nanakawan ka
Mm-mm.
talaga ng mga tao mo.
That's true.
'Di ba? Right?
Mm.
Pero it's so hard because you said you're a mother. And
Yeah.
I mean, 'di ba? Like what about work-life balance and your mental health and well-being? Di ba yung
So
apek na
many
mga
factors,
workers ngayon? What
yeah.
about my mental health and stress?
Oo. So, Miss Tina, for my case kasi, I'm so blessed that when the pandemic hit, my husband, who's an Egyptian, is having his vacation in Philippines. So,
Mm,
nag-close na yung mga airports. So, he's stuck with me.
mm,
And because he's ano naman, a manager position in Dubai, when
mm.
he's here, he's become my fortress. It's really, again, we're going to
Ah,
go back sa paghahanap ng maayos na partner. For my position, my partner, greatest partner is my husband.
mm,
Actually, me and Mustafa are involving our son sa mga negosyo namin.
mm,
Mostly, right now, at this point of time, my son is on the couch right now, kasama
mm,
namin. So, we don't want to exclude him, even with we're expanding the business, etc. We're very much happy homeschooling him while we're trying to
wow.
provide for family. It's tough, but for me, kasi it's very fulfilling. I do not want to be a housewife, first of all. Even before that, I married my husband. I told him
Mm,
that I really have to have a business or have to work, etc. But I will not be a housewife. When you have that thing established with your partner, it's gonna be easier. So your partner is gonna be your biggest fortress, or you're gonna be a liability for you. So you have to make sure that your life partner is your biggest supporter, at least para magkaroon ka ng life and work balance.
mm. Eto
Mhm.
pa, the larger question is capital.
Mhm.
Now, the US Fed has hiked their interest rates. So,
Mhm.
even in the Philippines, if you have excess cash, the
Mhm.
returns of a time deposit, which used to be less than 1%, is now at least net 4.25% and is
Mhm.
projected to be going up.
Mhm.
Given this, 'di ba, nag-e-expand po tayo.
Yes.
How do you what's the challenge kasi if you take on debt, there is a possibility na mas mataas pa yung interest rate mo next year than
Mhm.
this year kasi sometimes debt can be variable eh, 'di ba?
Yeah, exactly.
Before it's debt is cheap eh, you can easily get
Mhm.
debt and pay 5 to 8% eh. But
Yes.
with the rising interest rates, if you expand and is over leveraged like our dear Shopee, there is a
Mhm.
chance na anything that you build will parang baka mag-retrench ka rin later on kasi sobrang
Mhm.
yung cash flow mo medyo tight.
Mhm.
How do you balance the capital to expand versus to actually just put the capital back in a time deposit where you will earn a guaranteed 4 point something percent, which is quite high.
Yes,
'Di
yes.
ba? Or convert it to US dollar, put it on a US dollar account and earn about the same amount.
Mhm. All right. So, first of all, you really need to make sure that yung business mo is separated to what is the trend right now. For
Mm.
us, we do not have only algorithm. We have other businesses, so we can see the trend of which earns better. Eh. When you
Mm.
diversify your portfolio, you will
Mm.
see, okay, I can earn much better pala on this business. So,
Ayun.
with a lesser manpower, and Ms. Tina, I would only want to share, next year, algorithm and IVC will have 1 month paid leave for all of our staff aside from their
Apply
sick
na
leave.
tayo! O sige.
God po talaga, it's really God's blessing. Although, it's a huge struggle. We're still gonna be going to find clients in Singapore convention, going to Las Vegas, different kind of conventions just to bring in clients to us. It's really important if you're an entrepreneur right now to see what is the right trend at this moment with all this going inflation. What do you think is still gonna people still gonna purchase, people still gonna need, that people are okay in despite of the hard time, people will still buy. What is that? When you figure it out and put it on the right position, hindi ka mahihirapan in this coming month. And I will still believe po, instead of selling a portion of your business, which I tried to do before, pero binayaran ko, binayback ko siya,
Mm.
algorithm is treating my 100% hours, it's because the time na mahihirapan ka, as Miss Tina said, you will see your right partner, kung tama ba yung partner na meron ka o hindi, di ba? So,
Mm.
pag kailangan mo ng pondo, I still suggest that you have to make sure that you have a right relationship with your bank. your bank will gonna be helping you. The interest that the bank gives aside from the lending is very low, 1.98, etc.
Wow.
So that is cheaper. Imagine something
Yeah.
that is cheaper, right? That to actually go and sell your portion of your company for that momentarily need na kinulan ka lang sa expansion mo. So for
Mm.
us, when we're earning like 90% or yung 80% ng net profit from the business, we pay little to our debts. Eh. When we do that, we are expanding and all of our businesses are still ours. So considering getting your friends to invest with you, na kung generous sila at wala naman silang timetable na sinasabi, oh sige, bayaran mo na ako ng ganitong buwan, ganyan, take advantage of that. If your parents wanted to invest with you, the first people who's gonna believe in you are your family. Pero kung wala tayong family na kayang mag-support because we've been self-sustained ever since nagtrabaho na tayo, then you have to check with your bank. Baka kaya naman
Mm.
i-credit card. Baka pwede naman i-ganito. Kasi check your resources first. It's not always okay to to sell your company just to expand.
There's a difference between good debt and bad
And
debt.
bad debt. Yeah.
Ang good debt, okay, ang bad, bad debt na lang. Kasi
Mm-hmm.
mahilig ang kababayan natin ng bad debt.
Mm-hmm.
Bad debt
Exactly.
is when you buy stuff that you need for the current or for the past.
Mm-hmm.
Good debt is if you use money to scale up so that you
Exactly.
will earn more money in the future. Bad
Exactly.
debt, you borrow money, credit card to buy branded goods in Lazada, Shopee, Hermes, LV, or buy a car which depreciates, 'di ba?
Mm-hmm.
Good debt,
Yes.
you actually have money so that you can open another franchise or another
Mm-hmm.
office which will generate more capital for you.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Exactly.
you have good debt, people you just have to pay for the interest. So you use the income of the business to pay for the interest. Pero yung pumapasok na pera, times two, times three na. Kasi mas marami kang distribution centers. If you have more
Exactly.
distribution more offices, more distribution centers, you're not making them as a cost center, but as a sales revenue generator.
Exactly.
So you have to make sure na ganun. Pero diyan napakahirap naman maging entrepreneur, 'di ba?
Sobra, sobra.
Mas
It's not
maganda maging
easy.
HR.
Oo.
What do you think, Darwin? Di ba? Ikaw, ba't ayaw mo pa mag-business? Di ba, I'm sure, Coach Darwin, you have a lot of opportunity to open your own business. What kept you from doing so?
Actually, when I was 30 years old, I opened my very first consulting company.
Mm. Mm.
And for almost 2 years, I was doing consultancy, freelance consultancy. Most of my clients are small, medium companies here in the Philippines, and
Mm.
also BPO companies who would like to establish their entity here in the Philippines. I've
Mm.
had a lot
Mm.
of I've been involved into a lot of BPOs. Lalo na sa start pa lang sila, I was part of the team that really created their policies, their processes, and
Mm.
whatnot. That I
Mm.
realized, nung time na yon, I realized that, hey, 30 pa lang ako. I don't have, for me, I'm still craving for more experience in the different facets of HR. And sabi ko nga, hindi ko pa na-achieve yung dream ko na ano. Kasi that time, I was, na-achieve ko na yung dream ko na maging HR director at the age of 30. Sabi ko, gusto ko maging CHRO in the next 5-10 years.
Mm.
This is something that I'm still working on. But I feel that uh, yung decision ko to go back from being an entrepreneur to go back to corporate is part of my learning, to be a better HR professional. So that one day I can lead my own company and hopefully become an entrepreneur also again.
I've
Mm-hmm.
done both. And fact is, kasi we have two sides here. We have here is entrepreneur, this one is corporate. Pero news flash, 'di ba a lot of people are complaining pag HR daw mababang sahod. Pag
Mm-hmm.
HR ka and magaling kang HR in a corporate setting, fact, mataas ang sahod ng isang
True.
very experienced HR director in a large firm. And many Filipinos, if you have the proper education, career choices, kahit na hindi ka galing ka sa mahirap, you can actually attain that no matter what your background or upbringing
Agree,
is.
agree.
Okay? Hindi ibig sabihin if you do entrepreneurship, mas mayaman ka than if you stay in corporate as an HR. Kasi both have their pros and cons.
Agree.
'Di ba? You might get more money as an entrepreneur and the freedom that you get. Pero ito, ang difference lang for me kasi is if you work in corporate, siguro you have your income has an what do you call it, limit, has a ceiling. It's a high ceiling, but there's still a ceiling. Pero when times are bad, you will have somebody to take care of you. Pag
That's
naman sa business, if you're a business owner, okay, yung ceiling na yan mas wala, pero sa baba din, yung ceiling din wala. Meaning to say, if parang you're very profitable, ang taas siguro ng income mo, but you can also lose your shirt, your savings, your house, your sanity at the same time. You can be in
true.
immensely in debt for the rest of your life kasi business ka.
Mm-hmm.
Pero and pag may problema, walang sasalo sa'yo. Ikaw ang
Mm-hmm.
sasalo para sa mga tao mo and
Mm-hmm.
then sa'yo. So there's
Exactly.
a pro and con to it. Eh. Kasi a lot of people think magbe-business na lang ako kasi I'm tired to be an HR. Sakit ng ulo ko sa boss ko, sakit ng ulo ko sa mga empleyado ko. Jan, is that true?
Yeah, that's true po. Sobra.
Hindi.
Kasi
As a business owner, kamusta ang sakit ng ulo mo and your mental health?
before it was really bad. To be honest, when I started learning about HR books, etc., when I started learning, you realize you di ka naman kailangan sumakit yung ulo mo eh. You
Oo
just
nga
stick to the
eh.
policy. No, I will stick to my policy. A, B,
That's
C.
true.
I will just stick with it. Bakit ba sakitin yung ulo ko? Anong code of conduct natin? Di ba? Ano
Yeah.
nakalagay dyan?
Yeah.
So, ipin-pinpoint ko sila kasi I've learned na hindi ka pala pwedeng laging mabait. Kasi people will tend to, take advantage of you for cash advance, for ma'am, kailangan ko ng ganito, ma'am, kailangan ko ng ganito. So, hello, okay, umabsent ka, bakit? Okay, ano nasa code of conduct natin? We just follow, we stick with it. I just realized life would have been
Oo.
easier if talaga tayong mga tao, we learn a lot of things from HR. Kasi,
Correct.
they're not pro-employees, they're not pro employer. They just do what's on the book. So, if the book says A, B, C, we follow it. So, thankfully talaga, from the first year of business, it was really tough. In scientists, there, attritionist, her people, ganito, chismis, ganito, ganyan. But when after that, you surpass that, uh,
Oo.
level and you learn everything by the book na, things are so much easier. I'm telling you, Miss Tina, I'm so much okay now. Handling people
Mm.
is not gonna be a problem as long as you stick by the book. It's one of the
Ta-
things I've learned talaga.
tama naman, Coach Darwin, yung sinabi ni Jan, di ba? Pag yung mga tao hindi nagfa-follow ng instructions or ng company policy,
Mm-mm.
bakit mapipiko ng HR? Di ba
Mm-mm.
yung nagpo-blow up ka? Ay, naku, buwisit naman talaga to. Di ba? Parang magagalit ka dun sa kausap mo. Eh, hindi ka
Mm-mm.
naman niya sinapak eh, di ba? There
Oo.
is nothing personal that the person went absent, na nagnakaw siya. Hindi naman
Oo.
ikaw yung ninakawan, right?
Mm-mm.
Bakit ka mapipikon? Just follow what the company policy, rules, and
Agree.
regulations says. And then follow due process. Pag
Mm-mm.
umiiyak na sa'yo dyan, di ba? Parang, ma'am, alam mo, kasalanan ko talaga. Nagnakaw ako.
Oo.
Awa,
Mm-mm.
breadwinner ako. Diba? I
Mm-mm.
mean, like, you can still be compassionate and still say, no problem, I wish you all the best, be nice to that person, and then terminate them following due process.
It's by the book. It's
By the
legal.
book din, di ba? I mean, nako-complicate talaga pag masyado kang naaawa.
Mm-mm.
Totoo yon.
Filipinos talaga are very emotional. This is what I've learned
Yes.
during my OFW time and right now. Talagang Filipinos are very highly emotional people.
Mm. Would that help ba in doing a business? Kasi
Um,
'di ba parang pag lagi kang anxious kasi ito if you do a business lagi kang may problema. Problema
mm-mm.
ng lahat, problema mo rin. Is
Yeah.
being emotional or sensitive helpful in managing a business?
For me kasi, it has pros and cons because number one, as you are sensitive, you feel people around you eh. So
Ah.
ako, sabi ko na agad, hey, please talk to this person. I feel like magre-resign siya. So
Mm.
because I'm highly sensitive, I have this feeling
Mm.
on a people performance on how they act at the office. It's ano siya advantage kasi you will get to feel what they're doing, and then you can prevent a worst scenario. You can
Correct.
start to them, etc. That's the good thing about that. The bad thing about that is that pag may narinig akong chismis against the business, I am
Mm.
very highly defensive and emotional
Mm.
kasi you're talking about something that I work hard on. And I
Correct.
realize I'm so grateful that my husband is there kasi pag galit na talaga ako, so sabi ko, ikaw na humarap kasi ano, baka I would say something that I would not want to say. So,
Mm.
being emotional, being sensitive has ano naman siya, two-faced talaga siya. It could be positive kasi you can feel the emotions and the feeling or yung mga ginagawa ng mga empleyado mo and you could prevent further damages in the future. Pero pag bawal din ng sobra kasi yun nga, mag-aaway-away lang kayo.
Panapanahon lang. In
Mm-mm.
2020, it was the panahon of the gig economy where so many
Mm-mm.
people did remote work,
Mm-mm.
freelancing, stayed at home, 'di ba? Now in 2022, we're already going back, 'di
Mm-mm.
ba? Because yung pandemya, it's now becoming an endemic.
Mm-mm.
How would you, and pero there's a lot of uncertainty. There's the global recession, there's the rising cost of living here in the Philippines. Very a lot of uncertain things. For those who are in HR and want to start their own business, how risky is it to start a business now?
Okay.
Because parang we're still at the point na we're on the fence eh. We don't know yet where it will go. Kasi sayang naman lahat ng in-earn mo in corporate,
Mm-hmm.
meron kang capital, may bright
Mm-mm.
idea ka nga, you have your partners, you might have found a location, pero pag pinasok mo naman, baka maubos lahat. Whereas baka dapat nagstay ka na lang sa company mo, enjoy the tenure, the benefit, the promotions, para at least in the next 2 years, medyo mas certain. Kasi nakakatakot, di ba, right now?
That's true, Miss Tina. Nakakatakot talaga. I believe that it's really about your calling. This is when your calling comes to you. Is it time for me to venture on my own? And although alam ko naman yung risk that it could be 50% failing, could be 50% magsasucceed siya, but you have to start slowly. This is what I always tell about aspiring entrepreneurs. You have to start slowly. Paano? May HR background ka. Why don't
Mm.
you explore freelancing website, freelancing
Mm.
groups, because they offer part-time HR jobs and gigs there. Eh. You have your corporate job and you do your side gig and you realize by then, okay, mas comfortable pala ako working on this job. Then this, you have to start figuring out na okay ba sa'yo yung gig na ganito that you will be able to turn it into full-time gig. Ang risk
Mm.
lang by freelancing is that you can lose your job in the next 1 week. Not like a corporate under the umbrella of a company here sa Pilipinas that it will
Mm.
take time for you to get terminated or such eh. So
Mm.
you really have to calculate your risk, especially if you want to try. I don't ever promote na i-full time nyo agad kasi try test the water first. Test the
Mm.
water. If this is something for you, so many gigs are out there, especially for sa ating mga HR professional. I've known so many. Yung mga ibang staff ko na umalis na ng company namin dahil HR sila found better opportunity online. So many opportunities out there, but you have to pick the opportunity. Not opportunities are good opportunity. Check it first. Kaya ko ba to? Mas okay ba ako dito? And then you decide, okay, I will stop this and do this for full time. So, test the water first. Wag natin i-sacrifice immediately yung corporate job natin kasi mahirap yan pag nawala na.
Mm. 'Di ba? Coach Darwin, do you think it's easy to find career progression? Kasi sometimes when people switch jobs, they might be switching to a worse team than before. And I'm talking about si Daniel Ricardo ba yata sa F1, di ba? He moved from Red Bull to somewhere else, and because of that nasira yung career niya. Do you
Mm-mm.
think it's how do you do it then na when you switch jobs it's always to a better job or a better career path? Kasi it's also quite it's a choice, 'di ba? You might
Mm-mm.
leave a more stable job right now kasi mas exciting ang opportunity, mas mataas yung sahod. Tapos the company and nagkaroon ng problema, natanggal ka. Parang
Mm-mm.
mali yung ginawa mo. How do you gauge that? Kasi
Well,
again, it's a
mm-mm.
risk eh.
Correct. First thing is that if you're exploring, make sure that you do your proper due
Dil-
diligence. And when you say do your due diligence, alamin mo, ano ba yung ano, sino-sino ba yung mga leaders ng company na to? What is their head count or their projection in the last 3 to 5 years? And also read about materials online about this particular company. Are they up for sale? Are they up for mergers? Are they up for expansion or growth? No, so basically, you would always do your homework. You do not jump to another fence because you just see that the
Grass
the
is
grass is
greener.
greener.
Mm-mm.
You go there because you know that it's not only greener, it's tastier, di ba?
Mm-mm.
So,
Tastier.
um, it's tastier. So, make sure that you do proper diligence for everything, the company, its leaders, its growth projections and whatnot. And then second is balikan mo yung yung why mo. Bakit ka lilipat? Kasi baka naman hindi ka naman dapat lumipat. Ikaw lang yung nagsasabi,
Mm.
ikaw lang yung there are just factors that are minute or minor factors that are are plaguing you to explore when in fact those minute or minor issues can just be resolved, 'di
Yeah.
ba? So moving from one company to another is a choice that your heart should never be followed. It's your mind should always be on top of
Ah.
your heart.
Exactly.
'Di ba? Parang ano yan, parang love life lang yan. Kailangan mauuna yung mind sa pagbibigay ng desisyon. Kasi we tend to be biased if we just follow emotions. Ito yung sinasabi ko before na, 'di ba, maraming tao ang nag-resign because of emotions.
Tama.
Maraming
Ah.
tao nag-resign because napakita sila ng boss nila, tatambakan sila ng mga different projects, nagkaaway sila ng mga colleagues nila. They resign because of emotions. At ending, hindi naging maganda yung mga next companies sa pupuntahan nila kasi they never had the opportunity to really explore and make due diligence and really check what's really up out there, di ba? Another
Tanggap na
thing is
lang.
that another thing from doing due diligence and knowing the why of why you would like to move. Third is may ipon ka ba? 'Di ba sapat ba yung ipon mo for you to be able to kasi ang pag-a-apply lalo na if you're in a mid-manager to an upper level position or actually even on a rank and file. Minsan kala mo madali lang makakuha ng trabaho pero lo and
Mm.
behold
Mm.
there are people who would always be better than you. There will always be people who would have that opportunity for themselves, di ba? Ang sabi ko nga, it doesn't mean that when you get a job or when you didn't get a job, that job is not for you. It's not for you because that fits for that particular person. Hindi dahil sa hindi niloob ng Diyos or minalas ka or what, di ba? So,
Mm.
yun.
Mm. Meron
So,
tayong feedback here from Fiona Tolentino who speaks the truth. Okay, let me just read that. Ha. Sabi niya, business landscape right now is not favorable for micro small operations. Yung mga nagbebenta ng mga fishball dyan sa street. Nowadays, mas malaki pa ang monthly net pay ng isang junior manager sa isang medium-sized fast food restaurant kaysa sa net income ng isang small business dahil the usual support na inaasahan from the LGU and DOF put on hold na siya ngayon. Vulnerable ngayon ng mga small business sa mga gusto gawin ng LGU at national government. In addition, it's very difficult to secure additional capital through financing for small businesses right now. Bank interest is high, and commercial banks are not granting loans unless you have collateral of real estate worth four times of what you need. Yeah, for those who want to venture into a business of their own but you have jobs right now, please, sabi nga ni Jan, do not resign until your business is stable. Last
That's
question tayo, Jan, kasi I'm sure everyone has asked this already.
mhm.
Everyone says that corporate job is a rat race and you don't
Mhm.
always get to do what you want. And
Yes.
part of actually starting a business or doing entrepreneurship is because you want to quote and unquote pursue your passions.
Okay.
You like you like to draw, so you make
Mhm.
something related to drawing. You like cooking, so you make
Mhm.
something that's related to baking. Pero parang it seems na if a lot of people they find that if it's a passion project, it's not always profitable. Like
Mhm.
BPO is interesting, but
Mhm.
nobody at a young age will ever say, I want to be a BPO owner, 'di ba? 'Di ba?
Mhm.
You want to be like Barbie and have a nice house and be a
Yes.
fashion designer. Yung mga
Mhm.
ganong or you want to
Yes.
be a musician, you
Mhm.
want to be a dance instructor, but not a lot of people will do something as boring as parang BPO owner.
Mhm.
How do you advise people to balance their need to be happy with their passions
Okay.
and
So,
actually being happy with where they are?
yeah, guys, I know, just because you're entrepreneur doesn't mean na hindi ka papasok ng 8 to 5 or more. Actually, on our case, we hardly sleep. You have to understand this. You are your biggest salesperson. Ikaw ang staff na hindi inoorasan. Hanggang makaalis yung staff mo, nagbibilang ka pa rin if things are accountable, etc. If things are okay, meron akong prospect line ng 2 a.m., I'm still awake. Why? Because you have to get by eh. So if you're not ready to get to that point na in-sacrifice mo yung sanity mo just because you think entrepreneurship, quote by quote, mas madali kaysa sa 8 to 5 job, then you have to think twice kasi it will really test lahat ng matetest sa'yo, yung patience mo, yung pera mo, yung time mo, etc. If there's no I do believe that being an entrepreneur is not for everyone. You have to see it to yourself, is this is something that I would love to do. Kaya ko ba to? Long term, in the next 5 years, is this still something that I am still passionate about? Ngayon, mahilig kang mag-bake. Pag ba masakit na yung likod natin, kaya pa ba nating mag-bake or are we be willing to teach another generation to do that? You really have to measure your pros and cons. And can I just say something? Guys, although I know it is really tough for small business and entrepreneur to survive during this time, you have to understand that you need to have your business registered. Why? Because
Mm,
there are some, I didn't take this, but one of my colleague na business owner din, nakapag-loan sila sa small business corporation, I think something like that. No,
mm,
during the pandemic, the government actually support business people, but you have to be a legitimate businessman enable for them to support you. And that papers from BIR and such does not take so much money. Pero it
mm,
takes so much your time. 2019, I'm the one na naglakay papuntang munisipyo, sa fire station, sa barangay, sa
mm,
BIR
mm,
to get our business permit. Why? Because
mm,
right now, napapakinabangan yung business permit namin because we have ITR. We have established name and reputation. You have to work on that. But you can work on that while you still have your 8 to 5 job. You don't have to
mm,
immediately. As Coach Darwin said, you have to think about it talaga din. Hindi madali. Hindi to madali. And it's not for everybody. But it is really doable.
For everyone who wants to do a business, I know masyadong hassle and medyo inconvenient talaga to apply for a business permit, to register with BIR, to ano the report. Pero what I can tell you is this, pag na-tax map kayo and hindi ka registered, yung kita mo, mawawala yon. Pag
Exactly.
na, pag nagkaroon kayo, I'm not kidding. Like it's
Mm-mm.
not it's good pag hindi kayo nahuli. Pag nahuli kayo, I think pag mali wala kang sales journal, 10,000 yata yung penalty. Pag may COR, 50,000 yung penalty. Parang ano yan eh, tik 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 tik. Yung
Mm,
LGU, pag nahuli ka, tik na naman, di ba? Yung pera
mm,
na you earn for your business, mapupunta lang talaga yan sa penalties. Kasi, pag mga fly-by-night, pwede silang mawala. Delete lang nila yung account sa Facebook. Many
mm,
companies can always just close their door, close their offices, and move. But if you are a legitimate entrepreneur and you already spent for your rent, nagbigay ka
mm.
na ng security deposit, nag-construct ka na, nag-renovate ka na, lahat na ng gamit nandun na sa office mo, you will not be able to close your office and change addresses.
Exactly.
'Di ba?
Mm,
Sobrang hirap. So, or pag kunyari, if you don't treat your people well, na dole ka, you can't just move your office. Di ba yun yung mga nangyari sa mga illegit agencies? You have to face it kasi hahanapin ka talaga kung saan ka talagang yung address mo. So, it's not difficult. So, we're
mm.
already at the end of the show. Jan, do you have any last words? Tapos ako, and then Coach Darwin will close. How to
Okay, so
contact you too.
yeah, so guys, you can search me on Facebook or LinkedIn. If you have any other questions regarding entrepreneurship, hanggat kaya ko pong sagutin, sasagutin ko during weekdays. So, anything else po, entrepreneurship is very rewarding. This is something that I would like to share. Nowadays, me and my husband have the freedom to actually be working and be with our son. So that's one of the best thing being an entrepreneur for us, that I think we'll have to uh, it's so much harder for other people who's working for 8 to 5 job to have that freedom to bring your son along with you sa trabaho mo dito at ganyan, and able to have spend that quality time with your family while actually providing food on the table. It is doable, but you have to make sure na ready tayo, ang isip talaga natin bago ang puso natin in doing so. Okay? So, marami pong salamat sa inyo.
For me, Coach Darwin was correct that you always need to ask about the why. So
Mm-mm.
many HRs want to transition to entrepreneurship because they're already tired of their bosses and they want to be their own boss. They feel that they are underpaid. So they believe that if they start their own business, their earnings will be up into the millions. They feel that they're tired of commuting for an hour or so to work, and so they feel if they're own bosses, they can set their own time and actually work from home. And whenever they want to take a vacation, they can take it. That's a big, big lie. Okay? There are pros and cons to businesses and working in corporate. But as Jan has generously shared to us, and we'd like to share with you, is that being an entrepreneur is a full time job. If you own your business, you do not pay yourself overtime, holiday pay,
That's
or
true.
even 14th month pay or bonuses. The business must first earn, and you need to be able to pay all your expenses and your manpower before you pay yourself. If you want to survive in this business, madaling mag-start ng business, pero what type of businessman of a reputation do you want to have? Kasi you can be the kindest businessman in the world, but if you missed a payroll because naubusan kayo ng pera, mumurahin ka talaga ng tao mo. They will never understand why your payroll is 1 to 2 day delayed because your customer didn't pay you. Ikaw na yung mabait na nagbibigay ng trabaho, ikaw pa yung anak ng satanas pag hindi mo binayaran yung tao mo on time. And idodole ka pa nila no matter how good the benefits and pay you treated them because you didn't pay their wage. Being an entrepreneur can be a very lonely job because you have to put others, customer, your people, everybody else first before yourself. Only when everybody is paid that the rewards will come for you. Yung sukli na lang yun. For some people, yung sukli malaki, yun yung mga billionaires. And for some people, yung sukli maliit, yung iba, kahit yung bahay nila, nawala na because of bad business decisions. So you need to be very careful, as Coach Darwin has said a while ago, and actually prepare yourself mentally before you want to do business. Because profitability is not always a cause of entrepreneurship. You bankruptcy is also a cause.
Yes.
However, if you do entrepreneurship and you have a vision like what Jan has, and you don't think too much about the money, meaning to say, profitability is not your number one priority, pero in actually bringing your vision to reality, generating new jobs, creating additional value, being a good Filipino, because if you open a business in the Philippines, you're hiring fellow Filipinos, you're
Okay.
paying Filipino taxes, you're
Right.
paying all Filipino suppliers and landlords. So it's really a parang benefit. You're really, that's the epitome talaga of being a good Filipino if you have a business. If that is your vision, then do a business. Because if you don't do that, sayang. There's a very, very big opportunity of you creating jobs and a difference in the lifestyle of your people that you hire than in working for corporate. Whether you choose corporate, staying in HR, or you choose to be an entrepreneur, being an HR in your own company, the choice is up to you. But I hope that given that we've heard from Jan and from Coach Darwin, you can gauge the pros and cons on which is the better path for you. Do not pick entrepreneurship because you feel it's the fastest way next to sweepstakes to be rich. Pick entrepreneurship because you believe you can really create value and you can also tolerate the losses. Meaning to say, if you invest in your business, your family will not starve. You will not lose your house. You will not lose your future. You will not drown in debt. Use only the money that you can afford to
To
lose.
lose. Yes.
Nothing more. Nothing more. And if you don't have the money, or if you don't have the capacity for risk to lose the money that you have, work in corporate. Because being in a corporate job can be as rewarding as having a business. It's not better to do business or to be corporate. It can be good as well. So be very careful, and I hope na parang people are, paano you call it, optimized na. Kahit na there's a lot of uncertainties now, there are people like Jan who are expanding and still making more money now post-pandemic than
Exactly.
pre-pandemic. Hindi ibig sabihin pag nagnegosyo kayo ngayon, mawawalan ka ng pera. There are a lot of businessmen who are still earning a lot of money now despite the rising cost and the strong US dollar.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of saan ka nandiyan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? With that, Coach Darwin, your last words.
For me, kasi you've already structured everything already about being an entrepreneur and working in the corporate world. I agree that each and every one of us has a choice to become an entrepreneur or to grow their career in the corporate world. It always goes back to your vision. It always goes back to
Mm,
your dream. It always goes back to why are you doing these things? Why are you making these decisions? Um, Not everyone can be entrepreneurs. Not everyone can be successful uh, professionals in the corporate world, right? So just make sure that when you make a decision, it's a decision that you have your heart, your mind, and your soul into it, kasi it affects not only you, it affects it affects not only your family, but it will affect a lot of people. Before I end, I would just like to honor John, kasi I honor her because she's starting a business and growing it, and I hope that everything goes well. You know what, I know a company, hindi natin siya papakalanan. Pero this company started in Pampanga. This company started at the second floor of a vulcanizing shop way back early 2000. This BPO company is now one of the largest in the world. It started in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
And from being in an office that is at the second floor of a vulcanizing shop. Hindi ko alam dyan kung alam mo tong company na to.
Oo, I know.
Start sa Pampanga at gumagamit pa sila ng mga what they call this, during the time when they were still starting, mga fake processors and cheap computers, but the owners strive to do everything because they believe in the Filipino talent. They believe that Filipinos can be world class. They believe that there is an opportunity to really grow the BPO industry in the Philippines. From
Mm-mm.
having an office in a vulcanizing shop, now their offices are one of the best. They're the what they call this, yung aesthetics ng office nila can be compared to that of Google, Microsoft, or
Yeah.
whatnot.
Mm,
Kasi
mm,
they realized that they've been growing leaps and bounds, and it's because of the people that they hire. And
Yeah.
not only that, it's because of the dreams that the owners of the companies has. So not everyone can be entrepreneur, but if you are an entrepreneur and you have the heart, being an HR would make
mm,
you more successful kasi you already have that core
Oh.
in you
mm,
to
mm, mm.
really not only care for the people, not only understand the business, but also the vision that everything that you do affects everyone. Okay, so that's it. Let's just close this episode of the HR Cafe, Usapang Buhay, Trabaho, Iba Pa. And we'll see you again next week for another
Thank
exciting
you.
and learning event for our next episode. Magandang Sunday, everyone. God bless.
Oh.
Happy Sunday!
Happy Sunday.